Welcome to Craft Addict K. I'm Carla. Sam's not with us again today, but this is our February wrap-up. It is February 28th, 2022. It is Monday, and it is exactly 7:30 at night, my time, Eastern time zone. So a lot has been happening this month, as you can see. We had a diamond painting weekend, and my little girl got finished, and I have a hedgehog that got started on my first Diamond Art Club. Today we are going to talk cross stitch though, because it is time for my monthly wrap up. And let's be real, it's been a rough work week. Going to be a rougher week this week. My travel event for the No New Starts, the aliens are out. Somebody woke them up out there in Nevada. So we're trying to get away from the aliens right now while we're still trying to shop at our local NETA workshops and running for help. So feedback has been people are enjoying it. I'm glad that they're enjoying the travel event. We've had a lot of finishes, a lot of great stitches. This again has not been a great stitching month for me. I looked and last February was my worst month. This month is again my worst month for stitching. I lost a weekend because the granddaughter and my daughter came for a diamond painting weekend, and so we focused on diamond painting that weekend. That's when I was able to finish that. And I think that they had a great time, and they worked on their diamond painting, so it was a lot of fun. She's 7, so she's still, you know, the attention span of a gnat, I jokingly say, because it was like 5 minutes here and there. And when you're a grandma and your kids are grown, you're not used to all of that busy, like, gotta color, gotta paint, want to do this, want to do that. It just like was nonstop. So it's kind of nice. Things have settled back into a routine at home, somewhat. Many of you have asked me about Rachel with the world events going on. You know that she's in the military, and all I can tell you now is that she is not currently involved in what's going on at Ukraine with Ukraine and Russia at this time, and she is safe where she is currently. So we say prayers to all our military and hope that they remain safe wherever they may be. Okay. So, well, my last couple videos have been about diamond painting, so I want to really focus that this video is all about the cross stitch. So enough of the life stuff. Let's talk cross stitch. I did a lot. Okay, but not a lot. I'm going to show you my whip goes board and where I'm at. We'll do that at the end. I have some haul, and I have lots of whips, and I have a finish. But my finish is kind of buried, so when we get to it, I'll show it to you. So let's start off with Anzac. So Anzac is Long Dog Sampler. This is the pattern. Sorry if the light's glaring. This is a picture of the pattern anyway. And I am working my way across the top. So I'm kind of over in this area. So Anzac was not called on whip go, but I have completed one of my whip goes on it because I was working on it for another project. Or a prompt. I had time last month, and so I kind of worked on it more this month and finished my whip go inadvertently because I needed it for prompt. And then for March, one of my whip goes was Jamie's pick. Jamie's a friend of mine on Zoom, and she picked Anzac. So you're going to see more time spent on this in March. I need to do 1,100 more stitches in March to complete that whip go. So let me see if let me reach up here and grab my little handy dandy board, because if I don't have my board, you know. So I have my Garand Grime Guard. This is on my Q-snap, and I have essentially worked across the top. I think this is where the top corner is going to be, but you can see I left that thread kind of hanging there. Let me loosen that up. The reason I left the thread hanging there is because I want to make sure. Because when I was over here, I was off a stitch, so I had to fix that. So this weekend, I had put over 700 and some stitches in it, and then had to rip out 225 stitches because my bird was off. So I had all of this done, and then I frogged all of it back out because my bird was off by 1 stitch, and that 1 stitch was enough to make a significant difference. I could not fudge it, and I wasn't going to try and fudge it because I don't fudge well. And so there we are. You can see the horses coming together, and the koala, and their little lizard over here. There's some back stitching. I'm going to do that at the very end, I think. I am using DMC 3808. I purchased a cone of it, and this is on Paddock Lane Designs fabric. I believe she calls it the Neapolitan. It has 3 colors. It's kind of blowing out with the light. There's a little better. So it's the blue, and then it's got like a brown, and then it's got like a pinkish reddish color you'll see down here when I get towards the bottom. So it's, and she is from Australia, and I thought it was very fitting. She does ship to the United States if you're interested, and ships wherever she can. So if you're interested, check her out on Paddock Lane Design. She does have a shop on Etsy, and you can find her on FlossTube as well as Shady Trees Stitchers. She does a lot of homework videos, and she does a lot of her own weekly wrap-up videos. So this is fun. It's been really good to stitch on. It's been fun to stitch on. I believe this is a 32 count. Had I brought over my package with me that I have my project bag, I would have that information, but I didn't because this is going to go back into my Lowry stand so I can do more work on it. Some of the ones that I took out of the Lowry stand are because they're not going to see any attention for a while. And one of them is Land of the Free. This is a design by Willow Hill Samplings, and you can still purchase this design. I am making some changes. I did look it up online to see some other versions. I am going to be changing my house versions. I pulled out Victoria Motto threads, and I'm going to do my houses in these 4 colors. These primary 4 colors. So I'm not there yet, but I do have my colors picked. I can picture it in my brain. Okay. So this is where we got on this, and I did, sorry, because I know some of you guys really like the numbers, 1,252 stitches on this. I did complete my whip go. I have it on a piece of even weave, and this is, I got the little houses, was part of Caterpillar Cross Stitch Mystery Cell. This is as far as I've gotten. I'm kind of folding this up so you can see better. Let me fold it up better. Trying to look at the count. I'm really winging it tonight to do this because I had a pretty rough work day, and you know, like I said, this week's not gonna be much better. So I figured today's as good as any. So it's kind of on a creamy even weave, just a generic even weave. I'm not even sure where I got it at. It's not dyed at all. You can see I have the outline for the first house in. I have some flowers down here on the bottom. A flagpole is started, and I got the boots. There's a person that will be there, and a lady, and there's boots. If I was to do this again, I did use the called for colors for everything thus far. I think for the most part, I've used called for colors. But if I were to do it again, I think I would switch out, let me see if I can get it up here closer. This down here, along here, is grass or sand or dirt. Same thing with the leaves. It's kind of getting washed out with the light. They're kind of a golden color. It's called chamomile, but my chamomile is, I don't know if they've had a color change. I started questioning it. I started getting on and looking at other people that have stitched this and seeing their finished projects, and they have the same color. If I was to do it again, I would probably do more of a greeny grass than I would the color that it calls for. But that's just me. I think it looks beautiful, the ones that I've seen using this, so I'm trusting in the process. But I'm still a little, I don't know. So I will put a picture in. This is one of my new starts for this year, so I only had 200 stitches to begin with, so I didn't really have a whole lot there to start with. But I will put a picture. I was trying to, it's not my completed picture, so I don't want to But I'm over here with this blue house that you can't see. There you can kind of see it. Can you see it? Yeah, that light sucks, doesn't it? It is what it is today because I really wanted to take time for you guys to do this wrap-up video, and I didn't want to have you waiting. Plus, I want to pull out my whip goes for next month. So, whip go was reached on that one. Next up, we have our reading gnome. And my reading gnome is still on the Q-snap, so it leads me to think that it might need some more work. So, reading gnome, I did 1,118 stitches, and I'm looking at my whip go. Oh, it is marked off, so I did complete. So, let me see. This was an Etsy purchase, and it's gnome number 6. From, let's see, Danis Pattern is the name of the Etsy shop. So you can see, got a love light, but he's sitting, little gnome, he's sitting on his chair with his glasses. And this is where I am. I'm putting this on a fiber flare whiteboard fabric. This light's awful today. So we got the top of the chair, we got his glasses, we're starting to do some stuff here. Got his little gnome house, my needle minder. But I left him on the Q-snap, so I must have thought I was going to come back to him for some reason. I don't know that we will come back to him, but I must have thought I was going to have time because he's probably going to come off that Q-snap. He's got great colors. Got the colors if you're interested. Some great colors. Anyways, and he's fun to stitch. He is really fun to stitch, and if you need solid blocks of colors for a challenge, it's a good one, and that may be why I left him on the Q-snap. Alright, I did found my finish, but we'll hold that off. Next up, Garand Totem Bag, my Phantom of the Opera. Let's see, I have a picture here. I am just kinds of discombobulated today. So here's your picture of Phantom of the Opera. And I'm close, guys. I was really close. He's off the Q-snap. You know, that's a sign that it's done for the year or until I have more time. But I have been busy. Phantom of the Opera got 2,559 stitches this time when it was out. And this is the quick stitch, so it's not super huge. I decided to, so you can see I had this down here curled up in the Q-snap. I decided to take it out and give it some rest until I worked on it again. The nice thing of WhipGo dictating what I work on each month is it lets me feel empowered to put things away. And over here is the corner. So I have made it. You can see I kind of stitched along. My goal was to get to the other corner. So I have made it to both top corners, even though I've done minimal stitches down on there. And you can see his face is starting to come in by the books and his shoulder. So we're getting there. We're getting there. So, but it goes away. I have already learned in this process that having 80 whips and more than half of those being big projects, BAPs, I have learned that I need to narrow down my whips because I'm finishing my smallers, but I'm not getting where I want to on my bigger projects. If I keep up with my whip go, I'll have almost 2 months to work on these bigger projects. So I keep reminding myself of that. Next up, we have Twilight. And I do have a picture of Twilight. Twilight is Heaven and Earth Designs. It is a mini as well. If you look at the whole picture, these two little old people are kind of sitting on chairs on the backs of like other people that are facing away from them so that they can come together. This did see some attention this month because it's Valentine's, and so I still have them on scroll rods. It's ready to go. I did 1,303 stitches. I met my whip go for the month. I'm trying to loosen that up. and I did a whole lot of blue. A whole lot of blue. So I'll try and show you pictures where I was compared to where I am so you can see my progress. But that's where we are with that. This is the little old lady and her hair. That is a lot of confetti, but it looks good, doesn't it? But I really spent the whole month filling this out. I need to make some big progress, and I picked this one to make some big fast stitches on to help my teammates in one of my events. So, and you probably see these little, they call them bobbies. They can be found on Amazon. You can also get them in Etsy shops where they'll put buttons and magnets and stuff on them, but it really does help to kind of control your floss when you're working on something like this, if you're a parker like I am, because I park. All right, so that would be Twilight. Now remember, I pull 8 projects because I have 4 Whitgo boards. So the next one is Cross Stitch Nation, and as you know, I am involved in a Cross Stitch Nation SAL with my friends, and Cross Stitch Nation looks like, and I know most of you know, it's by Heartstring Samplery, and it looks like, ugh, no. I'll try to insert a picture. My light is really bleaching out, so I'm really having a hard time getting pictures to show. So I'll insert a picture. This is on a piece of, I know, I wrote it down, Fortnite Fabrics. And by the way, my full coverage pieces are on 25 count easy grid. This is Fortnite Fabrics, So Vain, 32 count. Here again, I'm trying to show stuff. Fortnite Fabrics has fabric clubs. They also have fabric you can purchase from them online. Wonderful 2 gentlemen that are wonderful to work with. This is So Vain, and that is really true, even though you're getting some light wash out. So it is, I belong to the Cross Stitch Nation, and the SAL that I am doing is with some other individuals. I'm not going to say all their names because I think we all been saying their names. And March 1st, Grace from Corinne from Grace Note Stitchers should be pulling the name of the next person in our SAL. So what she does is she spins a wheel on her YouTube channel, which is called Grace Note Stitchers. Her and her daughter do this channel, and every other month she is spinning a wheel with all of the members' names in the wheel. When your name comes up, you get to pick which character you want out of the, was there 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 6 total female characters, 1 male. We're using the male as the men in our life, so it would be reflective of our husbands. And we get to pick the character that we are and the color that we want to be. So I picked the one at the very end so that everybody except for Crystal Rowe, who started over here, everybody else started over here and had to work across, or started down here and had to work across. I have to finish this year because I put the year on it. This is one that will be seen as soon as the next person gets drawn. I will figure out where they are and what color they are, and then I get to pick. So I was the first name drawn. I chose purple, and I chose this one clear at the end. So that is supposed to be reflective of me. Brown hair, the crown, and I went with purple. Got a needle and thread, and this was a lot of fun. I did stitch her dress up and down, and I used the purple that I used for the dress is, bear with me, it's a Weeks Dye Works Peoria purple, and then the darker purple on the dress I used Royal Purple from Gentle Arts. So those were my 2 purples. So originally I had pulled the called for colors because we were going to mail it to each of us, but then we decided to do it this way instead, which is pretty cool. So I'm liking how it's turning out. I'm going to have a whole lot more fabric at the bottom, so I'm going to be able to use this for another project down the way. So I'm excited about that. And that will be Cross Stitch Nation. So the only thing we haven't seen would be, and this one needs to stay out because it's March. We should be having a spin. So I need to keep this one out. And that leaves us to my very last project that I worked on for the month. And that would be Ink Circles, Fire Burn, and Cauldron Bubble. And this is Fire Burn and Cauldron Bubble. You can see it a little bit. But guess what? And this is in my Stitch and Button bag. She is Victoria Gable Stitch and Button, and she's got a little zipper pull with a little oak leaf, but she puts bags up periodically. Check her out. She has a Facebook group, and that's where you will find her items when she has them for sale. She does needle minders, she does scissor pulls, she does bags of all sorts. So I put this on a green fabric. I got it when I was at StitchCon. It's that bright fluorescent green. And here is my finish. So if I come back here, that's the green it's on. It really is that bright green. But when I come up, you're going to get a lot of light and it's going to watch it out. But I wanted you to be able to see the pattern and the stitches. So this is my finish. Second one for the year. This counted as a medium by the No New Starts guidelines. So now I've had one small and one medium finish. And I believe I started this. I could tell you, but I'm not going to because I didn't look it up. But I believe I started this in 2020. I believe. Because 2021 I wasn't doing any new starts. And I know I didn't start it at the December 13th. So I know it was a 2020 start. So, and I like how it turned out. I just don't know how I'm going to fully finish. I'm debating on doing like a black frame around it. I think that would be cool. I'm not sure. All right. So let's talk. I'm going to have to put this away now that I've shown you I can put it away. And now I have an empty bag. What am I going to do? What do you do with an empty bag? Carla puts another project in it. I'm sure she will find a project for it. All right, so let's talk WhipGo. So I have 4 WhipGo boards, and I wanted to show what I've been doing. So this is my first board. My first board goal is to have 2,200 stitches. And that light is really not going to work for this. So let me see if I can just tilt the light down a little bit. There, that's better. Should have done that a while ago. All right, so here's my board 1. It's 2,200 stitches in each one. When it's called, I highlight it in that little pink, or you can see I have this month's in for March in yellow. And then when I finished it, I've oranged it out. So for WhipGo, for the first board, I have 3 called, but 4 finished. So 3 out of, this one wasn't called yet, but I finished it. So that's why it's kind of wrapped around in orange. So whenever that number 16 is called, I will finish coloring it in. Okay, so first board is 2,200 stitches. This is primarily my full coverage that I wanted to focus on. Or when I started doing No New Starts and I was going to do 22 and 22, those were my first 22 projects that I wanted to work on. So I wanted to put the most effort into them. Then I have board 2. And board 2 is 1,100 stitches. And so this is my second board. So I have 2 more here that I haven't finished yet. Autumn Quaker and Wolf Countess was called. And Autumn Quaker was a January call. Still haven't finished it. I haven't even started it. It's still sitting over in my bin so when I get finished with something, I could try and pull it in. And Wolf Countess was called for this month in February, and I never got to it. It was a short month, and I didn't get to it. And now I have added on Autumn Owl and Stitching Book Club, which is not going to be a lot. I think I can probably finish Stitching Book Club. It's their logo, and I was going to do that for like a bag, like a book bag kind of thing. But, so, there's that. So that's WhipGo board number 2. And I'm not going to show the WhipGos at every month, but I figured maybe every other month I could share it with you. Board number 3, same goal, 1,100 stitches and ones that are called. And I have 4 out of 4 completed that were called so far. I'm on track. I got number 2, number 5, number 17, and number 19. So that's Heritage Sampler, Twilight, Reading Gnome, and Change in Latitude. So for this month, Happy Haunting was picked for March, and Samantha gets to pick a whip as well. So she hasn't picked yet. I'm hopeful of the one I hope she'll pick, but she has not picked yet. I'm waiting to see which one she picks. So that will be, so I'm on target with this one. Then we have our last Whip Go board. And on the last Whip Go board, I kind of gave myself some breathing room. It was either 1,100 stitches or I spun a wheel. And I have my whips all on a wheel. And when I spin the wheel, whatever number I spin, I do so many stitches on that project. Depending on what I pick. So to give you an idea. And this was kind of like a filler idea. So, sorry about that. So this was a filler idea. We have spin the wheel for 1,000. But what came up, I haven't done, is my Dreaming of Sal. And I have not started it yet. I need to get that this month. That has to be done. Because I have to send it off to the next person by the end of March. So I have to get that one done. That's a priority. Jamie picked, and she picked Anzac. So I wrote that on there. That was picked for March. And Cotswold Fields, which I'm really excited about. That one is also picked for March. So if I can get those 3 done, I will be on track, which I should be able to get those done in March. So that's my Whip Go update. Okay. I suppose you'd like to see some haul, right? Because who wouldn't like to see haul? And now that I got the light kind of not in my face, maybe I can show you some haul. I wanted to show you, this is Grace Notes Fabrics. This is how it comes in this wonderful pink bag. I was going to wait and open this for you, but one of her customers or somebody was inquiring about one of the fabrics that I purchased when I was down at, I poked in at Retreat and I saw her fabric and I told her that yes, I want a piece. So she sent me that, both pieces that I wanted, and as well as my fabric of the month. So there's 4 pieces of fabric in here. I only unwrapped the one that was the one that I wanted her to send me. And so it comes in a package like this. I opened it. I only opened this one. They usually come all nicely wrapped in this beautiful tissue wrap, and it's got a little thank you for handmade with love, or thank you for supporting our business. So this one, I'm really excited to show you, and it's crinkly because she takes the time to fold it up, is called Mermaid's Tail, and I got this in a 32 count fat quarter linen, and I also got the same in a 28 count Lugana, even weave Lugana. Okay, fat quarter of both. I want to show you the difference. So here's Mermaid Tail in the linen, and that is very true to color. Okay, so this is Mermaid Tail in the linen. This is Mermaid Tail in the even weave, in the Lugana. Very true to color. So, if you hold them up beside each other, I'm going to kind of give you a play-by-play. If you hold this up, I'm just kind of folding it over so you have like an idea. I want to give you an idea. Different fabrics dye differently, but look at the colors. Like, usually you'll find your Luganas are definitely more muted than linens. Linens take the dye a lot easier, and you have more contrast with a linen than you do with like an even weave. And I don't know, with Ada, I think Ada might even be more muted, but I'm not 100% sure. I'm not a fabric dyer. I don't try to be. So if you can see those colors, there is the Lugana, and there is the linen. They're beautiful. I love them. Corinne, Colleen, I know you watch my video, and I love it. I'm not going to start anything on it until next year, but I love it. The other thing that's in this wonderful package And I did not open this one because I wanted you to see, like, this is how these come. I haven't opened it, but I'm going to open it now with you. It says, thank you for supporting our small business. Little sticker. Such a nice touch. I'm opening it on camera with you because it's like Christmas, right? This would be my fabric of the month. Look, they put a little note in there. I know you can't see the note, but it says, thank you, The Simpsons. A little handwritten note, which is such a nice thing. And a sticker that says Girl Power. And now I know what to do with my stickers. So send the stickers, girls. Send the stickers, because I know what I'm going to do with my stickers. All right, and we have 2 fabric of the months. So we have 20, and I get 25 count. That's my preference, only because I'm trying to build my 25 count stash, because I do my full coverages on 25 count over 1. And so I'm trying some other patterns over 1. You'll see I'm doing Gnome of the month for the year. Still working on June. But you'll see that next month again. But we have Blackberry Lane. I'm trying to hold it on this side because if you can see, my lighting is giving me a yellow streak right there. And I know that's the light. So I'm trying to come over here for you. That's true to color. It's a nice, pretty, blushy, kind of purplishy, what's it called? Blackberry? Yeah, blackberry latte. I could see that. That looks like a blackberry latte. And the other one is Lento. And it's another 25 count even weave. So I have 2 of her fabric of the months. This is a more neutral for her neutral fabric of the month, and this is more vibrant, colorful, I don't know what she calls it, fabric of the month. But this is Lento, and boy, isn't that pretty. The things I could stitch on this. All right, so that is my haul. So one of the things that she's doing currently is going to start doing, I think, with the future fabric of the months, is you can opt for an optional surprise, no more than $10, but she'll put things like scissors and scissor foams and little trinkety things and just little surprises in your package, which I think is kind of cool. Who doesn't like to have a little extra nice surprise? And for me, this is the one time a month I get to treat myself to something that I know is for me. My husband's not going to take this. My kids aren't going to take this. Nobody else is going to want to use this but me. So this is my treat to me each month. I figure I work hard. I deserve an extra little treat. And so sometimes I go a little extra because who wouldn't go extra? I do foresee that there will be some prize giveaways with some Grace Note Fabrics in the future of our traveling game. If you're playing the travel with us, keep traveling because there's going to be some really cool stuff coming up. If you haven't joined in No New Starts this year, we do hope that you will consider joining next year. It is a very supportive group. We help cheer each other on. We celebrate our finishes. We celebrate the progress that people are making, and sharing our whips with each other. People have sent in their whips for us to redistribute out to people within the group. It's just a really great community. So, and from what I've seen, we've got some like messaging groups that admins are all in to kind of oversee, and people are talking, they're getting to know each other, and it is a lot of fun. So if you were shy about trying it this year, I hope you'll give it a try next year. So don't be fooled by No New Starts. There's many options. And the yearly event next year proves to be just as fun as the yearly event has been this year if it comes to fruition. So, and I don't know, I'm really tickled. And I know I talk about it on my channel, but why wouldn't I talk about it on my channel? I'm really tickled that everybody's having fun camping across the United States and visiting local needle workshops, and they're cheering each other. And we just came up with a jet setter this leg. We got 3 jet setters in the group, and they do massive amount of stitches, like massive amount of stitches that I can only dream about someday. I might be that good to get to that. Maybe once I retire, I don't know, or if I get a job I can work from home. That would be my dream. Have a job that I get paid what I get paid now, but be able to do it from home where I can cross stitch while I do it. Is that out there? I'd love it if that was out there. Okay, I think that's everything. So I hope you don't mind. I hope you had a nice visit. If you stayed with me this long, thank you for sticking around. If you want to see what I'm up to, I think as I am diamond painting maybe 30 minutes a day. I'm not doing a lot. I'm trying to really focus on my stitching. But sometimes it just tends to be that's a quick go-to without all the setup. I am going to be filtering in some diamond painting unboxing videos on this channel, but I will try to forewarn you ahead of time versus cross stitch, because I think the monthly wrap-ups for the cross stitch, because of how I'm doing my whip go, is a better way for us to have a really good flow, so you can see what I've done for the month. And I've done a lot. Not exorbitant amounts, but I've done 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, probably about 10,000 stitches for the month of February. It's a shorter month. That's not the best I've done. I usually average twice that, so I'm hoping that the next month will be much better. It's a longer month. I get a few more days, a couple more weekend days. That might be cool. I need a 24-hour cross stitch marathon. That's what I need. That's when I get all the stitches in. So I think that's it. So I just want to say hugs and loves to all of you. I hope you have a wonderful day, week, whether it's raining, flooding, storming, snowing, icing, or the sun is shining. I just hope that you find your happy place and be able to cross stitch or do your craft of choice and take time for each other. So happy stitching, everybody. Bye.